I sold my gaming console to pay rent, and my friend bought it to help secretly. That sounds like the plot twist in a feel-good indie movie, but it happened to me one sweltering July, when I learned that adult life has fewer cheat codes than any video game. I'm Maya Santos, 27, freelance illustrator, caffeine addict, and formerly the proud owner of a limited edition Scarlet Storm console, which tragically became the financial casualty of my rent crisis. Freelance work had slowed to a crawl. 2 clients ghosted, 1 delayed payment until next quarter, and suddenly my bank app showed less money than the number of pens on my desk. I was a week from rent day, staring at my beloved console, the one I'd queued 8 hours to buy the year before. Selling it felt like amputating an emotional limb, but electricity and shelter usually outrank digital dragons. I told no one except my roommate Leah, who offered half her paycheck. I refused. Pride disguised as independence. "It'll be fine," I insisted. "I can sell a few prints and my console. Easy." She frowned, but I listed it on a used tech marketplace anyway. Within an hour, a buyer messaged, "Saw your ad, we'll pay full price if we can meet tonight." No haggling? Suspiciously perfect, but desperation dulls intuition. I met him at a downtown cafe. Hoodie, mask, awkward vibe, normal pandemic anonymity. Transaction was quick. He inspected the console, transferred the money, left with a polite nod. I went home divided between relief and grief, whispering goodbye to hundreds of hours of saved progress. Rent got paid. Groceries reappeared in the fridge. I congratulated myself on surviving another freelance dip. After that, life went on, or tried to. 2 weeks later, while sketching logos at my desk, I heard Leah squeal from the living room. "Maya, come here!" I ran out thinking the kettle exploded. Instead, she held a large cardboard box with a familiar red lightning logo. My brain glitched. "No," I said automatically. "It can't be." It was my exact console, same sticker on the back cover, same tiny paint nick on the side, and taped on top, a note in handwriting I knew instantly. "Heard you leveled up to adulthood. Couldn't let you lose your favorite co-op partner. Jay." Jay, short for Jonah Dela Cruz, my oldest gaming buddy and ex-coworker. The human embodiment of chaotic kindness. Leah looked between me and the box, confused. "Wait, what's happening?" "That buyer I met," I said slowly, "was Jonah. Apparently my friend, hearing my offhand complaint weeks earlier about money being tight, had stalked the marketplace just in case I'd list my console. When he spotted my listing, he created a fake account, bought it anonymously, and shipped it back after I made rent." I collapsed onto the couch between laughter and tears. "He really did that?" Leah grinned. "He really did, and he recorded a note on the console. Plug it in." I did, hands shaking. The console whirred to life with a startup chime that hit like nostalgia therapy. Then Jonah's voice blared through the speakers. "Congratulations, Player 1. You've unlocked the Friends Care Too Much expansion pack. Side quest, accept help without panic. Reward, 1 functioning console and possibly a pizza if you answer your phone." Sure enough, my phone buzzed immediately. "Surprise ruined?" Jonah asked when I picked up. "I'm oscillating between gratitude and wanting to strangle you," I confessed. "Good," he laughed. "That means it worked." He explained that when he heard the edge in my voice a few weeks earlier, he'd known I was hiding money trouble. "You'd rather fight dragons than your pride," he said. "So I figured I'd sneak in a side quest where you win anyway." Mostly I just sat there crying onto my controller. He pretended not to notice. Later that night, after Leah went to bed, I booted up our favorite co-op game. There, in the friends list, a new player tag had appeared. Secret Hoodie Hero. Jonah, obviously. His message popped up. "Ready to earn rent again?" We played for hours, laughing harder than I had all month. And for a while, bills, deadlines, adulthood, and pride faded into pixels. But the real story didn't end with that sweet gesture. A week later, Jonah's secret generosity spiraled into something bigger. An anonymous online rumor about the mysterious buyer who rescues broke gamers, which caught attention far beyond our circle. And that unexpected fame almost cost him his scholarship and our friendship before we figured out what to do. That's where the next part of this story begins. The rumor started 3 days after Jonah's surprise delivery. At first, it was flattering. A community page post titled, "Mysterious Buyer Saves Local Gamer from Eviction." The anonymous author described my exact situation, selling a limited edition console to pay rent, then receiving it back as a donation from the same buyer. The tone was sweet, but the details were too precise. The model, the neighborhood cafe, even the red lightning sticker on the console's corner. Only 3 people knew those facts: me, Leah, and Jonah. Leah forwarded the post with a dozen heart emojis. "You're viral, Rumi. The internet loves wholesome drama." I didn't love it. By lunchtime, hobby blogs were sharing the story. A popular gaming subreddit picked it up under the title, "Guardian Angel Gamer Returns the Loot." The comment threads exploded with detective work. Someone traced the mystery buyer's payment method to a user handle that looked eerily close to Jonah's usual one. That was how I found out he hadn't hidden his trail very well. I called him immediately. "You wouldn't happen to be trending on PubCon's front page, would you?" On the other end, muffled chaos, keyboards clacking, laughter. Then, sort of, maybe, we might have a small viral flare-up situation. "Jonah," I said, "you use the same alias you use on literally every gaming forum." Silence. Then the sound of palm hitting forehead. "Okay, so anonymity is a learned skill." He was laughing, but I could hear tension underneath. "My university's scholarship office just emailed me," he admitted. "They're concerned that I've been buying expensive gear and giving it away. Apparently, charity looks suspicious when they're tracking your finances." My stomach dropped. "They think you suddenly got rich? They think I'm mismanaging money I don't have. His program was a merit-need hybrid. Any hint of financial dishonesty could tank it. We'll fix this," I said immediately. "Tell them it's exaggerated. You helped a friend, not half the internet." He laughed, hollow. "How do you prove generosity isn't fraud?" That question haunted both of us for the next week. Every time his inbox chimed, he flinched. Every time someone shared another heartwarming repost of our story, I felt my chest tighten. Finally, I said, "Let's tell the truth, publicly, together. If people want a story, we'll give them the real version." He groaned. "You hate attention." "I hate injustice more. Plus, rescuing you from irony seems fair after you rescued me from rent." We planned the post carefully. My idea, his reluctant approval. A split-screen video. Me explaining what had happened, him showing receipts, literally, the transaction screens. We focused on friendship, not heroics. When the video went live, neither of us expected the storm that followed. Within hours, thousands of comments flooded in. Supportive, funny, tear-soaked. A few trolls accused us of fabricating everything for clout, but most people saw the sincerity. Imagine helping your friend and risking your scholarship for it. One comment read, "That's real friendship goals." Others donated to a GoFundMe someone spontaneously created, not by us, for students who help each other out. Jonah promised every cent would go to an actual aid fund. The next day, his scholarship committee contacted him again, this time to apologize. They'd seen the video. They even offered him a community service credit if he'd speak to first-year students about responsible charity. He called me that evening, laughing and borderline crying. "They turned me into a morality mascot," said Jonah. "Just don't start a franchise called Console Savior." "Too late," he whispered. "Mostly. It could have ended there, happy reputations restored. But internet momentum has a half-life." A local news show requested an interview. Jonah agreed only if I joined. He said he needed backup and professional comic relief. I reluctantly said yes. During filming, under bright studio lights, they asked, "How does it feel to see your story touch so many people?" I answered honestly, "We just wanted to look out for each other." Everything after that was bonus levels we didn't plan on. Viewers latched onto that line, turning it into a meme template. Bonus level kindness. Every time it popped up in my feed, I oscillated between pride and disbelief. But none of that prepared me for what came next. The charity fund Jonah inadvertently inspired attracted real sponsors. One of them reached out with an offer that sounded too good to be true, a chance to turn our accidental viral story into a full-blown scholarship program. Accepting it would change both our lives, but also test whether our friendship could survive becoming a public brand. And that's where the next part of this story begins. The email about the scholarship offer landed on a bright Monday morning while I was half-conscious, elbows deep in coffee grounds. The subject line simply read, "Partnership Proposal, Bonus Level Fund." Jonah was already calling before I'd even scrolled. "You saw it?" he blurted. "They want to sponsor the fund." Real corporate backing, not just GoFundMe hype. A national gaming access charity wanted to expand what random strangers had started online. A program providing emergency grants for students in creative or tech majors who hit financial walls just like we had. They'd front resources. All we had to do was lend our story, occasionally appear at events, maybe host some streams. "You mean become the faces of an ideology?" I said dryly. He laughed. "Technically, yes, but the wholesome kind." We met that afternoon at a cafe, the same one where he'd once disguised himself in a hoodie to buy my console. This time he wore an actual blazer, though the tag was still poking out of the collar. "Professionals in progress." The proposal was impressive. Branding team, budget, clear deliverables. Yet something uneasy twisted in me. Our friendship had survived disaster and viral fame because it was spontaneous, scrappy, ours. Turning it into a campaign risked sanding off the authenticity that made it meaningful. "I want to help people," I said. "I just don't want to become a hashtag." Jonah nodded. "That's the line we'll keep checking." Over the next months, the bonus level fund evolved from internet rumor to actual non-profit pilot. We filmed polite promo videos, half scripted but honest. My favorite part was mentoring applicants, artists and gamers juggling rent and passion like we had. Jonah handled logistics. I provided creative counseling. Our dynamic shifted. I was calm precision. He was thunderous enthusiasm. It worked. Still, viral shadows lingered. Sponsors wanted polished narratives, perfect altruism, perfect smiles. Once during an interview, a journalist praised Jonah's heroic foresight. He corrected her gently. "I didn't have foresight. I had a friend who needed help and terrible impulse control." Cameras caught me laughing until I snorted. That clip became our official blooper, proof that we were still ridiculous. A few months later, the fund's first ever recipient, a shy animation student, sent us a handwritten note and a sketch of us riding a winged console labeled "Level Up Together." Jonah hung it on his wall. "We have fan art now," he said, half amazed, half terrified. That night, we streamed again for charity. Quieter than our chaotic days, but warmer. Midway through, someone asked, "So was it worth selling the console after all?" I looked at Jonah on camera, then at the bright red controller in my hands, the same one he bought back from despair. "Yeah," I said. "Best trade I ever made." After 6 months of partnership, the fund was self-sustaining and sponsors no longer needed constant publicity. Life began shrinking back to normal size. Jonah finished his degree, I signed new clients, and started saving instead of scrambling. On the anniversary of the console sale, he showed up at my door carrying a small wrapped box. Inside was a game called Second Chance, the indie release we'd both wanted for months. A yellow sticky note on it read, "Rent paid, friendship intact, ready for co-op?" "Always," I said. That evening, we played online with chat disabled, no audience, no pressure, just two friends side by side, quietly grateful for the strange glitch in life that had turned one act of kindness into a continuing quest. Sometimes people online still tag me under nostalgic posts about the viral story. I usually just reply with the same line. Bonus level, kindness unlocked, still playing. Because that's exactly what it became. Not a headline, not a brand, but a reminder that real wins in adulthood don't come from perfect runs, just from showing up for each other when the game gets hard.